and welcome to my author friends. Do you have a back library of books on the market today that have low or no sales? Do you want to learn how to revive those books and get new sales? Come along today and join me as I go over 5 tips to begin the process of reviving those back titles to generate new sales and connect with new readers. With over 10 years of experience in the publishing industry as a publisher, editor, marketing, and an author, marketing my books has become a vital part of the day-to-day activities. Do you have a question about marketing? Do you want to know how to market your old titles? Leave a comment down below. Alright, so promotion is a huge part of getting our books before a reader. But what do you do when the books that you are marketing are your back library and are not new releases in this industry? Well, we have to come up with a way to tip number 5. Make yourself a detailed list of all of your books on the market today. Include your length, your release date, your genre, your category, your metadata, your keywords, your blurb, and you can even record and keep track of all of the reviews that you have on that particular book. So, why do you want to do this? Well, having all of the data in front of you will ultimately be beneficial when it comes time for you to look at your promotion and your marketing plan for each one of those books and how you want to incorporate them so that you can keep track as well as make yourself Tip number 5, make yourself a detailed list of every single one of your books that you have on the market today, including the release date, their length, their category, their genre, their blurb, reviews, as well as where they have experienced the most sales, if you can get that information as well. Now, some of this is going to be a little bit different if you're self-published as opposed to traditionally published. But for the most part, you can get enough information on everything that you need for your books for this list from, your royalty statements or from your dashboard if you have self-published. So you want to have all of that information in one place. Why? Because if you have all of the information in regards to that particular book in one place, it's very handy for when it comes time for you to actually put together a promotional plan and a marketing plan for that book to revive it, to bring it back into play with some of the newer releases that have come out since that book was released. So now, if you have self-published, it's far easier for you to rework your blurb, your tagline, your keywords, your metadata, and to redo a cover, or even to look at doing a revision inside of the book. And you can do that by pulling, you don't even need to pull it down, but just kind of take it in and go through and make some changes or polish it up, whatever you feel that you need to do. Then when you put it back upon the market, it is a fresh version and you can remarket it as a relaunch, and that does draw in new readers. Prioritizing your list. You created a list, you've got every book on there, you've got all of the information. Now what do you do with it? Well, considering each book carefully, you may want to prioritize your list so that you can allocate each book to what you need or want to do with it. For example, if you have an older book that, you're thinking it doesn't have a lot of reviews, you want to get some more reviews. So now you need to come up with a plan to create an opportunity to get those reviews, even if it's just sending out newsletters or social media posts or something to ask for people to join you to go over to discuss that book and possibly read it and leave reviews. Now, if it's a book that perhaps you are looking at doing major changes to your revisions, that book might go a little bit lower on the priority list because You know, if you're looking at just changing a cover or a blurb, that's far easier and far less time consuming to do than revising an 80,000 word novel. So have in mind what you want to do for each one of those books, and then prioritize so that the ones that you can really get through quickly are up at the top of the list, and allows you the time to really focus on doing the more labor intensive work for the ones that are a little bit lower on the list, or the ones that you maybe want to do a little bit more with. Okay, so you also you have to understand, if you've got a lengthy list of older titles, having a priority list for each one of them will ensure you can organize your promotional activities and showcase each book and give each one the attention it deserves and meets the needs that you have to follow through with each one of those particular books. Tip number 3, considering the Amazon ranking of each one of your books. When you're looking at each title, take a look at where they are in the ranking for their length, their category, their genre, and really use that information to help you create a solid working plan to meet the needs or your goals with each one of those titles. Now, if they're down on the ranking list, compare those titles with other books that are similar, whether it's in length, whether it's in genre, category, those, so that you can actually reverse engineer a way to engage with new readers by making small tweaks and small changes to keywords, to your blurb, your tagline, or your cover. If you're going to do a revision of that book, keeping in mind the ranking and keeping in mind that homework that you've done where you've compared your book to one that's a little bit higher in the ranking or is more successful, will ultimately help you in the long run to create a solid plan with how you want to do your revisions, and then how you want to relaunch that particular book. So aim for the numbers that you are looking at and keep track of everything that you do. So if you are going to do your revisions, if you're doing Amazon ads, Facebook ads, whatever it is you are doing, create a notice or a spreadsheet where you're putting down what you're doing, what the results were, and how long it took you to do it. Okay? Tip number 2, plan your promotions out. So when you have your prioritized list, you've got you're all organized, you have your goals in mind, you know what you want to do, now it comes time to doing the planning of what it is that you are going to do for each one of these books. One of the things that I've done is I've actually created a spreadsheet which has multiple pages, and it covers each one of my books. It covers all of the details, and if you stick around to the very end of this video, I will have it linked below so that you can grab your free copy today. Alright, so now that we are starting our promotional plan for our books, what do we do and how do we do it? Well, when you have the details of what you are looking at for that book, then you can begin to plan what you'd like to see it doing. So if you have a book that is doing okay, what's this doing okay? It's got 10 reviews and it's ranked in the top 5,000 and it's doing okay. I mean, it's an older book, but it's still doing okay. So what's the plan? Do you want to increase the rankings, increase your sales, get more reviews? Having an idea of what you want is going to allow you to create that plan and put it in place so that you know exactly what you are doing for each one of your books. And thinking of it as an individual plan for each book. You don't want to be planning for all of the books because that's going to just be overwhelming. So if you take and divide it so that you're planning for each particular book, it's smaller. It's a smaller chunk of planning you need to do, and overall you may find that what you have planned for one book can carry over to the rest of them, and you can just build on that idea, right? So there's nothing wrong with comparing your notes of what you want to do, what is about your book with other books that are more successful, who have done better than yours. Even if they are newer books, it doesn't matter. what you're doing is you're reverse engineering or building your success based on information that you are finding that allows you to come up with those game plans. Okay? So when you have this idea, you need to look at each book and then ask yourself some questions. So, first question, what is my goal? What is my aim for this particular book? Once you can answer that question, then you can begin to plan. Because if you don't have a goal in mind, planning is not going to really give you any noticeable results because you don't know what the result is that you are looking for. So then you have to figure out how much time you have to really dedicate yourself to this task of promoting this particular book. So do you have an hour a day? Do you have 10 minutes a day? Do you, have one day out of the week when you can kind of sit down and go, okay, well, I'm going to do all of this planning. I'm going to do all of these promotional posts. I'm going to schedule them. And then I can spend my time just throughout the week working on other things. Having that clear mindset gives you a firm, organized pathway and lays a foundation for a more successful promotional plan to be in place. So now where are you going to go with your promotions? This is a big question, I think, because you have to understand where it is that you are aiming your promotions. If you are aiming a promotional campaign at social media, but you are not posting it on social media, you're not going to get the level of exposure that you would get if you had put it where you had aimed it or where it should have gone. So being really clear in your head of where you want to go with your promotion is very important. And it can be tricky to figure it out, but once you've got it figured out, then it's a lot easier for you to manage. And it's regardless of whether your work is brand new, whether it's just releasing, or whether it is 10 years old. If you don't know where you are aiming your promotion, you are not going to get the full benefit of what you are trying to reach, and that's a huge factor in how you see successes of your marketing plan. So what is your schedule of your promotional plan? You have to be aware of what your scheduling is going to be. With multiple titles out there, now if you've got 5, 6, 10, 20, 30, 50 books out there, and you're just throwing information out there on each one of these books, pretty soon it's no longer promotion. It becomes very spammy and it's off-putting to readers. So you have to plan how you are going to do your promotion, how you're going to schedule things so that you are seeing success, seeing your opportunity to connect with readers, but without actually turning them off. So mix in your promotion with regular content and talk about new releases, your old releases, and come to a healthy balance between the old and the new. And then once you've started to do that, you want to be able to figure out, and you really want to be able to measure how successful your plan is. How do you measure whether you're seeing any success or whether it's a failure? So having the organization and having things like spreadsheets and that detail what you're doing are invaluable to seeing your plan come to successful fruition. Now, tip number 1, be creative in your planning and be honest with yourself. Now, this is a big one, I think, because it often gets overlooked in the sense that it's tip number 1 is be creative in your planning and your work and be honest with yourself. Think outside of the box and really track your efforts. If something isn't working, ask yourself why. Could it be the wrong sequence of words in the blurb? Could it be the wrong keywords? Perhaps it's too flat. Rework it until you find you're getting the results that you want. And this is going to be time consuming, but it is invaluable because it ultimately will give you the goal. It will ultimately enable you to reach the goals that you have set. So, if it's the keywords, don't use the wrong ones on your book. This is a big thing. So if you are writing horror, you don't want to be using keywords that are more apt to be found on fantasy, sci-fi, romance. You want to focus on keywords that are specific to your genre, specific to what you are trying to get across. Have a place to keep track of each book's progress. I'm a big fan of Google Docs spreadsheets. I love them, and it's very easy to track the information, you know, in that place because it's all in one place and you can do a lot with the information. Detail what you've done. Do not leave a detail out. So if you have done Facebook ads, Amazon ads, you've done a BookBub promotion, and you don't put information about one of those in, you're missing a big part of the pieces of that puzzle, and it can ultimately fail you. So also track and jot down things that you are thinking of doing in the near future with your books and your promotions as well. Don't get so focused on the old titles that you forget the new releases. Remember, your new releases are just as important as your old ones, and vice versa. But if you have a book that is due to come out and you're really trying to build the buzz, you can take some time and really focus on building that buzz and really getting the word out there, because then you can find that people are buying the new book. But if you link it so that when you're doing your promotion, you are clear that you have a back library, you may find the people that are picking up the new book are going and looking for the older books as well. Now, you need to keep all of your books in front of readers. Now, you can link an old title with your new title and vice versa. You can do all of that. It all works, and it's all very important in how you communicate that with your readers as well. Reach out to others to get more reviews, more likes, follows, etc. Offer to go into libraries, to bookstores, etc. to speak to the readers, to speak to fans, because that is ultimately going to act as a way to encourage new readers to come to you. Having a newsletter list is huge. If you have one, you've already got a base that you can rely on to focus on to really promote the back library as well as the new stuff. So, I hope that today's video proves helpful for you. If you've tried any of these tips, or if you have tried something different, leave a comment down below, and I will, so that we can create a conversation, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell so that you are notified when new content goes live. Hit the like button and share it with your friends. Happy writing, and we will talk to you again very soon.